All protocol observed, and privacy and chief of staff, and obviously the VVIPs of the day. We're not just entertainers, we are industry as well. As I said, my name is Mpon Tatling. I'm not an actor, I'm a producer. But I think we also need to be part of the conversations, because what affects you affects me as well. Without you, I don't have a show. And I feel as if also sometimes we tend not to understand each other, but the industry is tough on every one of us. And I'm just going to add in a few comments, Jack, and to Anasis Pumla, is that the industry does have a union, by the way. It does. KUSA is the industry union. What has happened to KUSA? Because it only exists in KZN. There's also the Communication Workers Union, by the way, and us being here, whether I'm a producer and actor, we fall under communication, by the way, remember. What happened is that they would rather stand up for post office and not you, because you're not a priority. And now I'm going to also add it to you that the tax money is that, and the same way that the president went on Wednesday to go and unveil, it's for Savalia, but anyway, the port in Durban, as an SEZ, the industry is in trouble. And I raised this with DTI and with small business, that the industry is in trouble. And until SARS also sees that we need to be prioritizing an SEZ, I can't hire any of them right now. I would love to use all of you guys. I can't even afford one of you guys. And the issue is that government is also playing part and parcel of what's happening. Because government now also tells you that your production is worth 50,000 rand. Then, government as a body that is supposed to be legislator, or that's supposed to say, these are our people, and private sector or broadcasters, most broadcasters are private sector except for the SABC. Now, they are able to say, it's not 130,000 for filling your house. How do we get to set? Are we using broomsticks? What are we eating on set? Are we eating bakagalebes? I've been speaking, I serve with Jeff on the Minister's Trust team. We are in meetings, half of the time we're fighting, the other half we didn't get along. We've been speaking and saying government needs to be part and parcel of the conversation. Because guys, this issue is not just about how much I can pay you. The issue is deeper. And until the foundation is fixed, MultiChoice will offer me 80,000, sometimes 130. And I can't even pay you because La Mayor Society and all of that. So I'll go back to the taxpayer, please, to Mayor. We need to make the industry an SEZ so that all these people that are sitting there can get what's due to them. We need to prioritize the creative industry, because until that happens, we are going to be here. We're going to have film summits again in January. And we're going to be fighting all the way with Jack and them until we get to the film summit. We're going to speak, and then we're going to be here again. And frankly, it's costing us time and money.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, please, as government, and I know how the new MEC's office is trying to really engage with the creative. We're saying that in order for you to be able to go speak, and I was hoping the minister would be there, in order for you to change policies as well as you DJI, can you hear from us and not first take from America? Because the issues of America are far beyond us. Yes, and can reference from them. But our issues are South African. Leave South African issues for South African and prioritize us first. So that we as producers don't look like the bad person. We will be able to give them the money that they deserve. And by the way, Mam Latifah, you are now an official Toitoist. We're Toitoing more than working. I have become chaos, if that's what you can call me. Because you're fighting for you to get what's due to you, instead of doing what you are born to do. Every other industry gets to do what they do. They're an industry. We're never an entertainment. Until when? So until we firstly understand where we stand, understand the laws, because now we just want to perform, that's the problem. What our vino, what our friends, what our actor.
Okay, thanks. Any more questions?
Yeah. Oh.
Next.
Dumelang. Kali ngizogena na Candice Mudisele. And I think I speak on behalf of anyone who's been at the harm and the mercy of channel exclusivity. I found myself, and I've spoken to Jack about this earlier on in the year, in a position where I was not able to take work from any other channel because I became a channel face. And that's an exclusivity clause that does not exist in my contract, and there's no compensation on that either. So once you've been working for a set channel for a particular period of time, or a soapy, or a television presenter on a particular show, you can no longer liaise with, or work for, or be engagement with any other competitor. And that obviously we bear the brunt of not being able to grow as freelancers, and we have very little autonomy because our contract does not stipulate anything regarding exclusivity at all, but you'll be sitting across a producer, a line producer, a channel head, and they'll say, we made you, you work for us, go to that other show, but when you come back, you will not have any work here. You will have 5 calls on another production, on another channel. When you come back, your contract is therefore non-existent because there is no exit clause from that contract. So how do we then navigate as freelancers with very little autonomy, very little agency? Contracts stipulate one thing, but you'll be sitting across a producer that says another. How do we do that? How do we navigate? How do we fight against a broadcaster? How do we find ourselves in broadcaster disputes? And how do we continue to work and as freelancers take as much work to survive, not to learn, not to enjoy, not to indulge in the craft, but take as much work to survive as individuals, because our face is our name tag, our face is our brand, our face is our craft, our face is how we maintain ourselves. But once your face is pasted on one channel, it can therefore not be on another.
Sorry, Jack, can you just, if you want to answer to that, and then we'll move on to the next question. Is it fine?
Anele, there's 2 outstanding questions that were with regards to SARS. There was one here.
Okay.
There was a second one with the SCZ. Let me first attempt to answer this one first.
Okay.
The determination of a basic salary. I don't know, can you all hear me? The determination of a basic salary. SARS has no role to play whatsoever. What role do we have is the setting of tax thresholds and tax brackets, but we cannot say we're regulating what should be paid in the market. It's not our forte, it's not within our competence. So that is something else that is outside the mandate that SARS said, which is to regulate a market-related income. We can only regulate how much should be taxed, but as to how much should be paid, we absolutely have no role to play there. Moving on to the question that the lady has just posed with regards to SEZ and STZ, quite a relevant one, but the establishment of SEZ and STZ, it's solely for the purpose of international trade relations. My advice would be, if that is raised, it should be raised as an industry. But from where I'm sitting, I would still need to be convinced as to why the industry would want to be seen or would want to be regarded as a special economic zone. But maybe if a motivation was to be put into SARS management, that would be considered. I think those were the 2 questions related to SARS.
Okay, before we continue, guys, can I answer something because there's a bit of confusion. So, and also the people on the floor that have the mics, when you identify someone, give them the mic, and also when you're going to speak, make it clear is it going to be a statement, and if it's a question, direct your question to a particular person so that you can just keep it going, because we're getting a bit confused. Okay, so are those questions covered? The 2 questions we were talking about. Okay. Okay. Jack, are you ready to take the previous one? So guys, just be clear if it's a statement And if it's a question, direct your question, because we've all listened to the panelists and we know which questions to direct to whom. Okay?
Thank you. Just on a point of fact, the CUSA came up in the previous statement that was made, and I have to say that CUSA was deregistered from the Department of Labour on the 9th of May 2014. So, yeah, to come then to the next point, one of the features of the bill contained both in the Performance Protection Amendment Bill and the Copyright Amendment Bill was that, remember, let's understand why the bills were drafted. The bills were drafted as a direct response to groups of performers like this who stood up to say, we cannot sustain this industry as long as you make us suffer this injustice. We cannot keep this industry going if you, as government, do not create an enabling environment in which for us to thrive. So this is the reason the bills were drafted. So what we have in both the bills, and the reason this is so important for actors, and the reason SAGA has been consistently lobbying for the bills to be signed, is because one of the requirements for the bill, or in the bills, as it relates to contracts that the actors sign, currently, for example, the Mnet contracts, if you agree to be on an Mnet production, you are signing away your rights. That production will be exploited for its full commercial value by the broadcaster, and you as the actor have no claim over any money that's going to accrue to that production, regardless of whatever medium that show is going to be used on, any medium that exists currently and any medium yet to be created, anywhere in this planet and anywhere in the universe. And that's how they pretty much word the contract. If you think I'm making this up, you've got to read it yourself to believe it. So the bills are saying, if you, Mnet, want to buy off the rights of that actor, the statute demands that the two of you engage in a negotiation first. That is why it is so important to actors. And in that negotiation, it's not just a matter of I'm agreeing on a fee to buy out your right to commercial exploitation, or I'm buying out your right to claim royalties. Is included in that negotiation. How do you value this person's input? If you are going to use this person's face in order to market your movie, then you are going to pay a negotiated amount to say, we value this person, we're going to have to pay because we're going to use this person's face to market it, and it is guaranteed in the bills. And this is why the Beijing Treaty is so important, which South Africa, by the way, still has not signed. Zimbabwe has signed. The reason this is so important is because it acknowledges your moral right to claim that you are the person delivering the performance. The Beijing Treaty gives you a moral right to say, I am the owner of that performance. It gives you an economic right to say, negotiate with me when you are going to exploit the value of my performance in this show. That is why the bills are so important and why we have consistently remained behind it.
Okay, cool. Next one will be coming. We're going to take one here and then you're next. Okay, sure.
Good afternoon. Project, I just want to go back to, I just want 2 points. I want to go back to when you were speaking about the Generation 60. And I don't want to stand up to speak for them and for the faults that we did. But I just want to say that how that came about, and in all honesty, it was a miracle that 16 actors were willing to sit down together and agree on one thing. And how it came about was because it came from a desperate need for a solution in an environment that just doesn't make sense to me anymore. It doesn't. And I'm very disappointed in myself to be standing up at the age of 35 speaking so emotionally because I'm another one. I'm another one. Do you know what I mean? And I think, and you know, I've been to SAGA meetings. You know I've been there. And if you speak Project, I will leave my house and I will go picket and do whatever. But I feel like it doesn't help if we pinpoint what we did wrong. Because yes, there are steps that we took that were wrong, but it came out of a desperate need. Because if you spoke up, you get fired. There are women who had families and husbands, they fall pregnant, they are worried about their jobs. It's nothing new. And I think in its most basic sense, we are honestly it's an abuse of power. I don't know who spoke about power, but we have senior producers, and I'll stick my neck out and speak about my experience with Mr. Vundla. Mr. Vundla is a bully. He is a bully. And if there's anything that we've achieved as the 16, is that every time Mr. Vundla had an interview, he exposed himself for the kind of human being that he is. And everybody that has followed after him has picked up on how he functions, where actors are never listened to. And we are now falling victim to laws and systems and rules to abide by. And Saga always speaks from that point of view of the law and how things should be approached. And I now hear you clearly when you say that the environment is the one that doesn't allow for us to participate in discussions as workers, of working, of just working. The environment doesn't allow. But then I feel like, we've been talking. A friend of mine likes saying that English is like data, it depletes at some point. And I feel like after if a whole Sisvati can draft a letter like that, and if we were to give Nambita a chance, she would write another letter that would shock the hell out of her. If people who are in the industry and are doing the right things are being treated like this, I feel like we all also need to get to a point where we say that, woman, there is a desperate need for a solution. There is a desperate need for a solution. And my cousin from SARS, I had an incident where I worked with a company called Clive Morris Productions. We got, and trust me, I was looking forward to that tax return with my entire soul and being and desperate need. I was looking forward to it. And I knew that it was going to be chunky because I had worked with Clive Morris for it was 16 months that I was with them. Haibo, I'm waiting for my IRP5. I'll go home and I'll check what they wrote on there. I waited for my IRP5, we got it, and then I go to SARS. SARS says that, Haibo, you are being declared as a permanent worker. And I could not even get a cent. I didn't even get anything, and I needed it. Which takes me back to when Project speaks about contracts and stuff. Because when we get contracts on our end, we find that the producers, they change them to benefit them. We get contracted as on a first call basis. Now look, Laisha, you've only got 10 calls. But you're forcing me to be on a first call basis, and you are choosing to ignore and throw out the freelancer aspect of my work, which you are saying is what I hold power to. But the producers, they don't give a F about that.
Okay. So there was more of a statement. Do you want to elaborate on that?
It's to pick up on that point. It's so important because what he's asking for, what he's demanding of all of us is solidarity. It's absolutely required. All I would say, and you referenced Saga's perspective on this, is that the reason we talk about law and contracts is because in demonstrating solidarity with your cause, I couldn't ask my sister over there or my brother over there to go into breach of contract wherever they were in order for us to demonstrate solidarity. I would not see them being sued for damages. There has to be another way for us to show solidarity with you. And it would be in terms of the open letters that have already been written, because remember, Rob Patrick Shah already, he's written an open letter as well. It ran in the City Press a few days, last weekend in fact. So if that is the kind of pressure that we need to show, let us pursue that. What I would never want anyone to do is to not just lose a job, but to be sued for damages through breach of contract.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Jack.
Thank you very much. Name is Connie Chiume. Thanks. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We've been making a lot of noise as regards to the bills. And I'm one of those people that Jack spoke to lobby the president to sign. And I willingly did that, but I did it not even knowing the contents of the bill. And I would like to think that most of us here do not know actually what the contents of the bills are. But because I'm angry, I'm getting old, it's had some sense here, and I want things to happen. So I agreed and I recorded the message to the president. But now, after what is happening now, I'm beginning to get another perspective of the bill. So, here's the legal team. Do you understand the bill, Nyayas? I'm a contractor. Do you? So here's the legal team there. I would like to request that the legal team explain to us what that clearly, we have been talking about it, but we are just picking up here and there. So I want us, when we leave here, we should know exactly what the bill is about, whether we support it to be signed now, or whether we choose for it to be still be interrogated. So now I would like to request the team to explain to us the bill so that Masambala sehambe clear. Number two, a power doesn't exist anymore. But during the days of power, we had a contract with the SABC which talked to the hours that we should work, which talked to our royalties, which talked to a whole lot of things. Konamanja, the SABC, I don't know what the agreement is with MultiChoice, but our work is just being repeated on 156 and we are not getting anything. So I just want to know, legally speaking, now that power doesn't exist, where do we stand with that contract that was signed between the SABC and power? Thank you very much.
Thank you, You can take it, Jack. While Jackie is getting the mic, guys, we are running out of time, man. So in the next segment, I would like, and Uma says she set a nice tone there because she had a question and she had a statement, and also she did come up with a suggestion and a way forward. But by the time we walk out of here, what are we saying should happen? So that she set the tone. So for the coming people, I want you to be cognizant of that because we are going to wrap up, unfortunately, because of time. Jack, you can take that.
The contract.
Yes, Jack is they're going to take it on the stage, yeah.
Sorry, Mama, this is about the power part of the question that you asked. The contract it was drafted in 1997 with the assistance of Power and the SABC and other role players. And the terms of that contract have failed to keep track of industry and technological developments. You must remember when the contract was drafted in 1997, they had no idea what Twitter is going to be, what YouTube is going to be, that they're going to have other forms of exploitation. So the contract that we signed was never going to be good enough to protect us in this age now. So we have been asking the SABC to please redraft, update, and reform your standard contract. So it has failed to keep track of time, and we have been asking the SABC, and we in fact have sent proposals to the SABC to start making changes. And Colin will know because the amendments to the contract was sent in 2014, and it was only this year that they decided to send us a response in writing. So that's the kind of attitude that we are dealing with. You have my assurance, Mama, if you do not feel comfortable that we had that video of you and the bulls, I promise you I'll take that video off. I promise you, I would never ever want to ask. I would never ask anyone to do something that they're not comfortable with. What I will ask though, and we will talk about it. With 15 minutes to go, the discussion on the bills is a day on its own, and I'm not sure. I understand that our legal team here today are all supporting one perspective of the bill, which is to say that they are asking the president not to sign the bill. It would be fair and balanced to have another legal team that supports the signing of the bill to be in dialogue with them, and I think that would be a fair engagement.
Okay, so, Law?
Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Paul Baloyi, copyright expert and specializing in entertainment law. I think obviously the issues around the bills are very emotive issues, and there are camps, obviously. But from where we stand as legal experts, really, we try to look at it from an objective perspective in terms of what will and can work. There are good